Hey everybody, we'll be starting here momentarily. Just give us a few minutes to kind of get everything in place, and we're just waiting on a couple of the other developers to join up. Well, it looks like we have developers here that are needing to be here. I believe we are good to go, ready to start it off. I just want to thank everybody that is either tuning in via Twitch or YouTube, or that is part of the stage in the Discord here. Thank you guys for joining us for the first ever Q&A session with the developers. What we'll end up doing is, if you have any or if you like to ask us a question, make sure you request to speak, and we'll bring you in so you can ask your question, and then we'll move you back down to the audience. If you're on either Twitch or YouTube, feel free to post your comments on either of my streams, or if you're watching on Bossmaster's stream, you could also throw it in there, and we'll try to answer those as diligently as we can. Like I said, I know we will have a couple of Q&As that we'll be doing, or some not Q&A, some polls that we'll be doing. So be sure to make sure. Wow, brain is not working properly here today. Be sure to watch for that, so that we so you guys can vote on those or the polls that we put out there. So, who would like to kick it off first? Ross, Wilmot, Priest, anything you guys would like to mention, bring up, or put out there for the rest of the groups to know?
I do believe anyone who's tuning in on my stream, I am hosting CI Gaming, so if you commentary on my chat, I am monitoring that, but I think that both of them should show up on the same location.
I don't really have anything.
Wow, jeez.
I don't know.
Okay. So let me go over to my stream here. Let me get this pulled up so you guys aren't just watching my Crapola. I hope that's the right one. Oh, jeez. No, it's not. Never is. Why would it be? Ha, there we go. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna put out there for you guys, for everybody to know, we do have our no, not fit to screen. Come on, straight there. No, all right, cool, whatever. Perfect, good enough. We do have our wiki page up. The wiki page is, in my opinion, the best place that you guys can go to kind of see what new information we're putting out there. Kind of what we're bringing forward for the community, in terms of updates, security patches, anything of that nature that you guys should be aware of. One thing from the dev side that I will mention is the second Tuesday of every single month, I do security patches. The second Tuesday of every single month is called Patch Tuesday. What does that mean? That means during the evening, 11 o'clock to about midnight, the server will be down for those patches. We do this to make sure that we keep our systems up to date and that we keep all the servers, all the backends for the servers on the most current Windows OS or the server OS. That way we don't have a potential for, say, somebody to try and hack in and grab our stuff. During that time, we end up doing our artifact updates. So we try to keep it all up on the newest version of the artifacts. Granted, we kind of also keep an eye on what those artifacts are bringing for any bugs or any issues that FiveM sees on their end when they're testing the artifacts. Most of them are pretty clean and straightforward, but does anyone have any questions or requests or comments that they would like to ask the dev team in particular? Any questions? Remember, this is a time for you guys to ask us questions and for us to give you guys an answer on quite literally anything within the EKYRP FiveM server. Anyone? Ah, there we go. All right. Jay Moore, what is your question today, sir?
In regards to banking and financials, wasn't even aware that there was the ability to create, say, a savings account until maybe a week ago. I heard it in passing from someone else. Is there any particular reason why civilians can't just manage their own money?
So the in regards to the savings accounts, anyone is able to set one up. Right now, I'm the only one that knows the script for it. I am more than welcome or more than willing to share it if anybody would like to be a banker. Granted, you are working with people's money, so it's one of those things where you have to be kind of careful with. It's a script I've been kind of playing with, seeing how it works, seeing how it functions. It's not 100% where I want it to be, but I am definitely getting it to where it should be and where I would like it to be. So, if that's something that you would like to, have a character that's a banker, let me know, and I can definitely get you set up with that. We can work out kind of how that would work.
Okay.
Any other question that you would like to ask?
I'm trying to pick up my brain, maybe in a bit.
Sounds good. Anyone else that has any questions? Again, if you're watching on any of the live streams, make sure you put your comments in the chats, and that way we can grab those comments and we can try and answer them as quick as we can or as diligently as we can.
So I guess one of the things while we're letting you guys figure out questions and whatnot, the banking system, the reason why, and I wanted to, I guess, elaborate more with Moore's question too. The reason part of why it is a not so much player managed or not so much a individually managed scripting is that With the last group of civilians that we've had brought in, the last group of Leos that we had brought in, the players wanted to see more one-on-one interaction, more content between each other. So one of the systems that we had with that scripting, instead of having an automated banking system where you can just go in, open an account, take care of your own funds, was to allow there to be a banker who can actually manage those said funds, issue loans, issue collections on loans. If you say, let's go into deep in detail, let's say I took out a $25,000 loan for a vehicle and I didn't make my payments, well, then they could, send a requisition order to the towing company to do a repossession on said vehicle, and then that vehicle will be taken back to the bank. Obviously, if we want to change that or look at changing that, then you guys are more than welcome to make those suggestions, and that's completely up to y'all on how we manage that type of functionality, because it's, to me, it doesn't matter one way or the other. If we want to have an automated system for the banking system, or if we want to have a player manager system.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing is it was a script that I had gone to look at and kind of play with to see what the functionalities are and the limitations. Granted, there is limitations within that script that I'm not a fan of. I've been trying to work around them and find ways to fix said issues. But for the most part, it's one of those things where there's 1,000 scripts out there that we could look at, and the supply of scripts, quite honestly, is an endless supply of scripts that I could go dig through FiveM right now and find probably, 20 or 30 different banking scripts that do either the same thing or similar thing, or maybe are slightly better. And that's one of the things that, I would like to say that I have all the time in the world. Sometimes I feel like I do, other times I don't. I could go dig for scripts for 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 hours, 13 hours, 24 hours a week. And, I can find a script that, hey, this looks really, really, really good. But then you put it in the server and it's mediocre. It doesn't function the way we want it to. Is there any kind of fix on the ETA for the phone? Possibly move to another phone script. In regards to the phone, it's a script that I've been fighting with, and I have an idea of what the fix is, and I'm waiting on one of the developers from HiPhone to release another patch update. Once that update gets released, I'm going to essentially do a complete wipe of the HiPhone off of the server, so that includes all of its all the data files. It'll include all the SQL tables, so everybody would get a new cell phone number. All that stuff would go away, which I try not to do just because I don't like deleting all that kind of data, but it is something that I am looking at in probably the next couple of days, is going through and actually doing a wipe of the phone database and trying to fix that issue. I think it was an issue that somebody else had mentioned on one of the development groups I'm a part of on Discord. So
if I may,
script is not very reliable. It seemed we've had phone scripts in previous renditions of servers. It's always seemed there's always been some sort of an issue. I think it's just something to do with how the phone scripts operate in the back end or something. It just can't seem to get optimized.
And that's usually what it boils down to, is not every phone is perfect. And I know, Ross, you want to comment, so I will let you comment on that.
I think what I've noticed so far with this one is anytime we've installed an update is usually what starts to cause issues with players. So I think once we kind of get it to an area that if we hold off on any updates until there's something major to add in, that way if there is something major, we would plan with that update to do a wipe of everything, and that way it's a fresh install. So that's what I've noticed with it, is anytime there has been some patch or update, it usually starts to mess up for some people.
Well, and usually I think that falls within the database, is that, and this is another thing that, in the line of development within the server, it's you walk a fine line based off of the scripts. You either have to do a wipe for that script, or you pray to God that it's not going to break.
Yeah,
that's really what it boils down to, is you are walking a line of, will it break or will it not break? If I do this update, will it just work, or is it going to literally cause everything else to flop upside down like a dead fish. You know,
And on top of that, it may work for the majority of the player base, but there'll be that one or two that maybe have some sort of computer configuration or some sort of RAM that they've purchased that you'd think would work in the server, but causes some sort of conflict with the script. They're very temperamental. we try to find the best.
Temperamental is an understatement on that one.
We try to find the best we try to optimize our resources as best as we can.
And we've got not to cut you off, but there is a request to speak. So
yes. All right, Parks, bring you in here, bud. All right, and Parks, what is your question?
I've got two. So there's a couple people that weren't able to make it, so they wanted me to bring it up.
Sure.
One of them being, will there ever be jobs open within the courthouse?
Yes. So within the court system itself, there will be jobs down the road. One of the things that I am diligently working on is the court system in general, and the whole justice system. One thing I've been looking at is there's a couple of scripts out there that allow for actual players to take the bar test. Granted, it is not going to be an easy test. It will be a very scrutinizing and painful test, but that is one option. There are some other scripts out there that I've got to kind of dig through and decipher if they're usable or not, or if they're ones that I want to pursue as a possibility. But that open up different features within the justice system, i.e., more players actually getting paid to be a lawyer, or players getting paid to serve on a jury, or different stuff like that. So down the road, in I would say the very near future, yes, I would like to see more within that. Obviously, you run a little bit of issue where you would have to scrutinize or be a little bit firmer on, if you are doing anything within the justice system, you have to have a non-biased opinion. You cannot be biased on one side or the other, because you are essentially the jury, the judge, and the executioner at that point. Whether you're a lawyer, whether you're if you're a lawyer, obviously you're going to take a biased side, but if you're a judge or a jury or anything like that, you have to have a very non-biased opinion. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yep. Another job that people were asking about was repossessions, and whether we can get something implemented for financing, for whether it be like vehicles or so on and so forth, and have a specific job title for repo type people. I mean, I know it kind of ties in with tow, but something along those lines.
So towing or repossession portion is fielded by tow companies that would be existent in servers, so they would be getting employed with either GX, and I think my understanding is that Blazer is taking over Top Notch.
I believe he is. I am not sure on that.
I don't. So he's the current contact that I have.
Okay, then yes.
For Top Notch. But anyway, he would be getting a job within those companies, and then them having the role within that job is you're responsible for going in the repossessions from the financing, which would come from the bank. The bank would issue the repossession order on that said vehicle, and then the RP would be literally going out and locating that civilian who would be driving or have that vehicle at a certain location.
Now, and Priest, this is I guess a question from your side, being from Kentucky. Is Kentucky a right to repo state?
The repossession orders would be issued from the bank to a chosen towing company that bank has some sort of contract with, and then that towing company would then respond or go to wherever that person would live and attempt to repo.
Okay, so that is a thing within Kentucky, though.
Yes, and depending on what local laws are associated with that, like locally in my town, the towing company, the tower who is representing that company is required by law to contact law enforcement before they go to an address. Because if they don't go contact law enforcement and they go to that address and there's a problem, law enforcement can respond, and they have authority under that law to tell them to put the vehicle back.
Yep.
It's very fun to deal with.
Oh yeah.
I can only imagine you would know.
But the benefit of calling them prior to going on scene would be that law enforcement can come out and tell the person, they've done the right thing.
Rude, basically.
You gotta deal with it.
Right. Very good questions. I actually like that's the kind of questions I like to hear. Is like, what else could we do? Is there any way we could expand on that? Like that's the kind of questions I love, because it allows us to look at it in a little bit of a different perspective per se, and kind of decide, look at it. Okay, what are the possibilities? What are the things that we can do? And granted, from the logistical side of it, we could easily create a PDF, fillable PDF form that you would get from the bank, and the bank would then have you go out and repossess the vehicle. So definitely something to look into, and something to kind of play with as an idea. Any other questions? Jay Moore, what is your question?
Again, speaking on the vehicle acquisitions, when it comes to the warehouse, auction house, whatever you want to call it, down at the pier, sometimes whenever people make oddly specific requests, it's sometimes difficult, if not time consuming, to find certain things. Is there any way that that process could either be streamlined to be search for a vehicle and then order it, or otherwise?
Simple answer on that,
Go
since
ahead.
I headed the vehicle development for that whole vehicle sales system. The script was donated to us through Crazy Plums, and that the way that vehicle process functionality works is that you have to go to the warehouse and do it. So simply put, there's not a way to fix that script to do that. We would be looking at changing out the entire vehicle script in order to make a functionality like that work. Now, not opposed to that if that's a road that we want to go down either, because I've had a few other complaints in regards to the vehicle script, specifically referring to the warehouse system. I would personally, the way that I would envision it working, and this is just me thinking, and you all feel free to chime in because y'all deal with this more than I do, is that y'all would have your sales location wherever that may be, and then you have access to display said vehicles from on your sales floor and wherever your shop is at. But your warehouse inventory wouldn't necessarily have to be at the pier. In my head, this is where it should be automated, that you go to like a spawner point. That spawner point has a listing of vehicles that are in there that you can then search through, select, spawn out, put on the sales floor, display, and let it be sold from there, rather than having to go out, buy the vehicle, use the inventory system to just display it. I mean, obviously now doing something like that will affect the way the financial system works in the server, because then rather than having to actually pay for a vehicle in advance, it then just becomes a display vehicle on the sales floor. So pricing wise, that will all change, or in theory it would.
Right. Well, that may be something that we look at as, another thing that we're, going towards as, is there something else out there that we want to look at in regards to, the dealership? I know somebody had mentioned once doing a one through a phone app that would be on like the phones. Then there's the other one that Breeze mentioned where you'd go to a centralized location and order it.
With what I'm talking about is it being in every car dealership location, so each dealership would have its own
little spawning.
Got it.
Yeah, not having to go to a specific point and then have to haul it, because that's. And I know this is probably going to come up at some point, so I'll hit it here. Is the trailer system or the hauling system is a nightmare as it is.
Yeah,
right.
It's been a finicky road on that one.
Yep.
Parks, what is your question?
Another one that is being mentioned. I know I've talked to Priest a little bit about it. We've seen some of the vehicles for certain jobs. People are wanting to know, is there any more civ jobs that are going to be implemented or possibility are being worked on? I know Priest had talked to us a while back of like a road construction. You guys had vehicles that you guys were working on a while back. Or just what jobs are going to be readily available to civs in the future.
Road construction is still work in progress. The location for one of those spawn points is already set in server, and some of y'all may have seen it. It's out there on Sonora Road. Putting And actually, I need to go in and we need to go in and we have to test that job functionality wise. But once it's fully tested, we should all be almost done with that one specifically. Additional jobs, truthfully, it comes from you guys letting us know, hey, I'd like to see this as a job, or making suggestions as jobs. Because we're not, where there's only 4 of us now. We've removed one from the dev team due to inactivity, and it's no fault of his own. He just got busy with life. But we're out here looking at fixing where we have had lag. We're looking at lag problems. We're looking at MLO issues, YMAP issues. We're not digging for job stuff at the moment. So any suggestions on, hey, I'd like to see, I don't know, a road cleaner's job, for example. I'd like to have the ability to go out and drive along the roads and clean them and get paid for it. Well, it's something you see out of real life now. I know locally with my city, it's all handled by City Works, and that's part of that. But any suggestions on roads, we're always open to looking at adding new jobs for civilians, 100%. So if there's a suggestion out there for us, then by all means, throw it through a ticket, throw it out here in the Q&A, and we'll try and make a note of it here that way.
And especially if you if you find a script that, and I'm not going to discourage anybody from finding scripts. If you find a script that you think would be really cool, something that we should look at, by all means, open a ticket, put the link to the script in there, and say, hey, I think this would be a really cool reason for this, and this reason. And that way we can kind of go and look at it and say, okay, well, would this work in the server? Yes or no? Is this something that for the server do we think is going to be either used a lot or not used a lot, or we'll be able to go and actually look at that. So definitely, put a ticket in, put the link to the script that you're looking at, and we can definitely kind of take a look at it from there. Speaking of jobs, this is from Britannia, I believe is.
Before we jump to that, I do want to cut back to Moore's original question too. Selecting vehicles from the warehouse with the current with the current vehicle shop system, that scripting is fully encrypted from the creator. This is another reason why we can't get in there unless we go in and do something like cracking it, which would violate probably some type of TOS. We can't just go in and crack it and add a way to select.
Yeah,
it's not we can't make a script do that. It's a manner that we don't want to violate TOSs to do it.
We like our jobs. We don't want to get sued.
As y'all are asking questions, I'm actually pulling up the script and I'm looking through it to see, is this something that is a possibility that we can do with what we have existing before I just straight out say no, it can't be done, or simply put, I don't think so. So that's anyway. Carry on. Sorry.
It's all good. Britannia put my chat. Speaking of jobs, the illegal jobs have a very poor risk to reward ratio compared to the time investment in comparison to something like mining. Would you like to elaborate on that question? I figured you would.
Okay.
Yes.
So, in about 3 hours of mining, you can make upwards of $2 to $3 million. In 2 to 3 hours of drug running, you could make about 50 grand. They're just the only job that really seems worth any kind of time investment or time sink is mining, just because of the
payout,
gain.
Basically.
Yeah, I feel like some of our more illicit, or if you will, exciting jobs might be worth more to people if they were worth more financially.
Right.
So let me chime in on that one, since we've gone back and forth with the legal jobs to illegal job ratio. Specifically, we're focused on the mining job for a second. So the 3 to 4 hours you earn, you said roughly what, 3 to 4 mil?
About 2 to 3. I'm
2 to
kind of
3.
slow. Yeah.
Okay, I'm terrible at mining, but that's just me. Anyway, do you think that that's a good ratio for that? So let's say you go out, you do your mining for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Is 2 to 3 mil a decent payout in comparison to the economy system? So you mine for 2 to 3 hours, you can buy X number of vehicles. Do you think that that's a decent levelness for that specific work to reward?
I would say that more than likely. Generally speaking, I would like to see maybe $250,000 to $500,000 gained per hour of just straight up work. Because it is a tedious thing. It is time consuming.
So not including the reward, just straight pay.
Sorry?
Correct. So rather than being, so some jobs have where you still have the regular interval paycheck, and then you have the reward on top of that.
Possibly.
So what we're talking is it's just a straight. So you work for an hour, seeing a $250,000 to $300,000 in total for that X amount of payout for straight working, not just necessarily getting whatever diamonds, gold, etc. from like the mining. Am I understanding you correctly? Is where I'm going with this.
My whole thought is that the illicit jobs should be paying more.
Right.
I think mining is okay where it sits.
Okay.
Because it's not a get rich quick. People aren't going to be sitting there in the span of an hour and come out with billions of dollars.
Sure, and they probably shouldn't, to be fair.
Exactly.
We also probably have, not to cut you off, I think we probably have one of the higher economies on for an economy server. If you go out and look at some of the other economy servers, I mean, some of those you're only getting paid maybe $400 or $500 per tick, or your rewards are only a couple $1,000. I definitely, from my side of it, I think we do have a higher economy in the sense of
scaled economy. Yeah.
Right, a higher scaled economy. I mean,
because
you're making
with them
more...
being paid, sub $200 every pay tick or whatever. Their cars are also worth, you can pick up your starter to intermediate car for anywhere between $500 and $2,500. Whereas us, it's probably 10 to 25K.
Well, and you're also looking at what the dealerships are doing, because a lot of those servers also you have one dealership, and that's in the city. Whereas on ours, you've got 2, maybe 3, sometimes 4 dealerships across the map. If each dealership is selling, say, the exact same car, like let's say a Bugatti, right? They're selling the exact same car. One dealership may be selling at $500,000, the other one may be selling at $1.2 million. It's a very wide range of what our economy is.
Yeah. And currently, as it stands for between GX4 and say PDM, we tend to just deal in high-end customized vehicles, and Kirk tends to throw out beginner cheap vehicles. So our sticker prices are higher, but we're also putting $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 worth of upgrades on them before they touch the floor.
Right, and that's every dealership is gonna be different, obviously.
Yeah,
I think based for location too, where Kirk's is at with PDM versus where GX4 is at too. I think that's kind of truly it's a smart business practice on his part, because he's right around the corner from the first spawn point.
First place I ran when I joined this server was straight over there.
Yep. What's the first thing you do when you join a new server? Well, I see how much money I have in my bank, and I go to a car shop. And then I go down the street and buy guns.
No, your first thing is stealing a car, going to get guns, and then going and doing your driver's
sure.
Stealing a car, going to go to the dealership.
Stealing a car to get to the dealership. Okay, that's fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
But ultimately, illegal job payout is what you're referring to compared to legal job payout. The illicit job payouts are not. They're not as balanced to the economy base of where the server is at.
Which, in all honesty, that may be something we look at, is maybe we do make them slightly higher, but then make the risk, where you have to drive across the map even further.
You
already are
to do so.
I don't know that we can make it further, considering, like, say,
Sure
if I bought a drug house. Well, if I buy a drug house that was in Polito, for example, and then I have to go get the supplies, that supply is randomized, so it may be the first supplies, in Sandy, but then my next supply is down at the port in LS. Unless we figure out a way to EKYRP Seco de Paro, and you have to fly to Seco de Paro to bring in your drugs.
That would definitely be doable. We could definitely do that.
That is something that we could look at as an option down the road, is that. And again, I do think
My point is
you
we
know-
couldn't go further at that point if you already
No.
have to go from Polito to the
Right.
Plateaus.
well, and that's the thing is it may be something that we
Yes.
do. I do think that we need to readdress, Cayo Perico
Yes.
and see can we make it work, because I think as FiveM becomes more and more stable, as we say over and over again, because boy, we've been saying that a million years in a row.
Just a little bit.
Just a wee bit. As they build out FiveM more and more and more and keep adding in what they are, it may become where FiveM is capable of running Cayo Perico at the same time as your regular map. It very well might be a possibility. And
Right.
I would like to see that. I think having something where now you're incorporating, I don't want to say National Guard because I'm sure people would be like, oh, bring back National Guard. But incorporating, stuff like Marina Patrol, actually having marinas that are patrolling, having your fish and wildlife guys going out and patrolling the ocean, stuff like that. I think it would bring in more for people to do, and I think it would probably help rejuvenate the server in the sense that it's kind of gotten stale per se, in the sense that, all right, I go to Sandy, I do this, I go back to the city, I do this, I go back to the, it's back and forth. Whereas now you're adding a second destination of Cayo Perico. Now there is more that we can extend. So maybe now your weed farm is in Cayo Perico. Not saying anybody has a weed farm, but you can put it out there. Just different possibilities. So I see Parks has a question here. Bring Parks in. Parks,
Alright.
go ahead with your question there, bud.
I got a couple different people messaging me, like a couple different jobs. That way it just kind of clears up whether they're even capable of adding something like this into the server.
Right.
A bounty system, like bounty hunters, specifically for...
I don't think Kentucky has a bounty
Yeah,
hunting
Kentucky
state.
does not do bounty hunting.
Kentucky, it's illegal to bounty hunt in Kentucky. Now, if Pippi wants to chime in, if he's watching or listening or reviewing this at some point, and he wants to say, well, we'll let it happen here because it's a game, by all means. And
Okay.
yes, to answer the base question of that, is bounty hunting a doable scripting system? Yes, it already exists. 100% able to implement it if
There's
we
like
were to.
26 different ones.
But we will have to have a green light from
Mm.
him in order to go that, because otherwise we have to stick to we're emulating Kentucky, quote unquote.
Another one would be a garbage man. You have
I
a truck
believe that
drive
script
around.
is already in.
I think it is. I think it's already a point-to-point location with a garbage truck.
Another one would be owning small businesses. I think I touched up on this with you guys the other day with gas stations and ammunitions and so on and so forth. Even 24/7
Had
stuff
even
like that.
suggested
So-
that in a ticket not too long ago.
Yes, so with owning businesses, yes, there is scripting for it. In regards to the gas stations, yes, there is a script that is 100% usable for it, and it does exist, and it works actually surprisingly well. The problem you had to run it, or that you run into it, and again, this is where I wish that civilians would actually fill out the application to be a part of city council, because I would like to make it where your civilian city council decides what the gas prices are, and then gas stations have to be within a 10% range of that. In regards to businesses, there is other scripting out there as well for owning, say, like a 24/7, or owning an ammunition, or there's again, it all falls back to there's probably 1,000 scripts that do a similar thing. It's a matter of which script works best and which script is not going to conflict with other scripting that we have. I
Kind of add on to that. Most script, like if you see a cool job, you're like, oh, this would be cool. It probably replaces in the database, six other jobs, or it has its own entire database that it only looks for that said database, and it's not in a config file. We can change it so we can port it into ours, or
Well,
it's using the same values, and it's just unable to.
And with with most scriptings that like okay, gas stations, owning a gas station, it's part of the same database table, however, or database server. It's just a different table within the database, which is a lot of what you're gonna get. Is your scripts are gonna be in different tables within the server. whether or not they conflict with other stuff that we have. I mean, without testing and going through a development period with the script to see, okay, is it going to break? Let's say, it replaces a gas station on Interstate 1, right? Is it going to conflict with other areas or conflict with, people's games, or is it going to cause stuttering or lag or, even crashing? Because there are some scripts I've seen that will cause, for whatever reason, they'll cause the weirdest of game crashes for no reason when you go into the store or the location for your first, second, third, fourth time.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't win everything. It's not a game of Pokemon here. You can't catch them all.
It's like the coffee shop. We tried that coffee
Oh,
shop
God.
business for a while, and it completely conflicted with everything in the database because it was asking for different values. We would have had to completely redo the entire, rest of the store system, all the 24/7s and gas stations where you can go in and use the store right now. That would have had to be completely changed just to match that one
So,
script.
not to keep that ideal ruled out of that, but I think the most unique script I've seen in my time with oh, he just moved back down, or Wilmot dropped.
Yeah, he dropped.
Okay, anyway, the most unique script that I found that within the system, or within this type of scripting where you can own your own business, was the one that we ran in a previous community, where basically you could buy a gas station, you set the prices at that gas station, you set contracts to require fuel to be hauled from the port to that gas station, and on top of that, there was another one that we have tied in, or at least I thought was tied into it based on how it worked, but there was an American Truck Simulator styled trucking system that's scripted from the port to where you're delivering loads from certain location to location.
It was two separate scripts. The trucking one, yes, it was out of the port down in the LSIA port. And then you had the gas station, which, in all reality, the gas station one was actually really cool because, say you didn't want to actually go and get the gas for your gas station, right? You could set up a job for someone else to go and get the gas for you, with a company provided vehicle. So there's like I said, there's many different scripts of what we could do. We need to sit down and go through them and say, okay, what ones do we like? What ones don't we like? What can we integrate? What can't we integrate? We're always trying to integrate the scripts that we have, into what we currently have. So if you have a store script, well, maybe I want that store script to integrate with either the phone or the banking system. There's so many different moving parts within that we have to always consider and look at as an option per se. Very good question so far. Any other questions? Comments, concerns, frustrations, praise?
Any issues you guys have noticed? That you want us to
Arcs.
Y'all gonna hate me by the end of this.
You're good.
So
This is
I
what
got
we
people
like.
asking what all is involved with city council. As in, you said the gas prices. Is that going to affect? Let me read this message exactly. Whether it's events, opinions on pay and job, business proposals, civilian vehicles, what all are they going to be able to have some sort of control over?
So city council is going to be tied in with mayor. So obviously the mayor would be voted in by the city council or the civilians, essentially. Your city council would advise on regulations in game, and they would also be supporting players. So regulations being, maybe we do say, they help with setting pay. I doubt that, just because that is a very dangerous avenue, but it is something that we could look at.
Yeah, especially depending on the type of job.
Right, exactly. We could look at so many different possibilities. I mean, here's the thing. If you look at your local city council, right? Your city council does a lot when it comes to
They do nothing.
looking. Oh, shush.
Depending on where you live, it sounds like.
Right, apparently where you live. But in my area, I know what our city council does is they look at the zoning rules. Where can you build? Where can you not build? They look at road maintenance and doing setting up road maintenance for areas. They look at a whole slew of different things, and they vote on, okay, we want this to be voted on, we want this to be voted on, or maybe we're not going to vote this particular item in, but we're going to modify it. So road construction, for a good example of that, is we're going to vote to have this road reconstructed or rebuilt or redone or whatever, but we only want to pay X amount of money for it. So and a part of that I've talked to priests with a couple of times, and we've thought of, but I don't think we've decided officially what we want to do. But we've talked about like tax laws, actually having implemented tax systems, so you would get taxed every tick or every day or whatever.
The council would determine the tax rate.
Correct, and that's so there. Just because it hasn't been defined as of right now, the possibility for city council is endless, and we can always adjust how the city council is going to be run and managed in as we go along. So as we bring more people in as city council, so you'll have your 4 city council members, and you'd have your mayor. All that would be your five essentially council members would be that. 4 city council, 1 mayor. And they would vote on different topics, different scenarios, different things, stuff like that.
To chime answer that question is the city council would take over handling business contracts from, say, having to have a judge executive do it, as they would approve businesses are added, or if business is going out, if that's going to end up getting sold, it gets sold back to city council, etc. Basically, the main goal for city council will obviously be to give more civilians a voice in things that are being worked on, edited, adjusted, fixed, or things are broke within the server. But not only being able to have them be that voice, we also enable them to support the newer civilians who are joining in.
I was gonna say
specifically because Britannia, after the several runs that we've had with that particular role, our governor has opted to find another choice avenue that we think may be less destructive when it ends. I like problematic; it's a better term.
Problematic is better.
Not to say that we've had problems, but to remove the basically to remove the gap when someone leaves a role. Let's put it that way. So
well, and it also removes
sitting in limbo. And
it also removes the pressure off of that one person from having to do everything. So instead of, a great example of that is when we restructured what HR, the HR tag, we restructured what it did, and the reason behind it is because, well, instead of making HR do everything, break it out to the departments. Let the departments handle their areas. HR will be the area where we house archives and stuff like that. We'll house personnel files and stuff, but it's not my job to sit there and police the police. I mean, that's just not how it works. So instead of it having one civ director and an assistant civ director who maybe they go on vacation for a month or whatever. Well, now you're out a civ director, and maybe the assistant goes on that vacation or something. I don't know, but it eliminates headaches. It eliminates confusion. It puts 1 or 2 people in there for managing.
Yeah, look at how your departments can be structured. You got your HOD, but then kind of go down from there. I mean, starting with that, you've got all your hierarchy of, well, not necessarily hierarchy, but your command staff, and you have people that you promote up to your captain, lieutenants, and everything. So with the civ staff, basically the city council opens up for more people to help out and have some kind of
it opens up the city. Structure. It opens up the civilians to have a bigger voice.
Exactly.
Instead of it being where 2 people say what happens, it's now you have 5 people that have a say in what happens within the civilian environment, basically,
with a support system in place to assist them. And
correct.
Right. At the end of the day, in my opinion, what sounds best for a server is you want your civ population to be just about the biggest in the server.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you want your civs to be your largest, and then your LEO kind of fills in the blank spots. Because if you don't, then you turn into kind of what we have is like, we'll hop on a patrol, there'll be 16 LEO on and maybe 2 civs, and then it kind of turns into, oh well, now the cops are kind of following the civs to keep.
Turns into a chase-a-thon.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be cops on civ, but ultimately the ratio should always be civs outnumbering the law enforcement, because civilians should be the biggest department, and truthfully, it's probably one of the more important in the community because I can close tomorrow. We could close out state police or SPD or MCSO, and we still have other divisions to fill the gap of law enforcement. We can't close. Sorry, we can't close civs because then we have no need for Leos or fire. Which, anyway, that was a can of worms I shouldn't have bothered to open up. But anyway, we don't have fire. Then we don't have fire. But we don't have fire. But you all understand the point. Moving forward, go ahead, Parks.
Another question. It kind of ties into a couple other things we've mentioned with economy and the prices on jobs and the vehicles and the prices and so on and so forth. I know we touched on it a little bit with going with IRL prices, or just nowadays prices such as fuel, the prices of vehicles, the prices of housing, the pay of jobs. Is that something that we are possibly going to switch to?
Everyone will be in debt.
If
Jesus.
Okay, without.
Are you sure you want us to with the debt?
Because we can do that. We can make the change today.
I was like, KSP needs a price drop a little bit. Pay change.
KSP has a
Pay drop? What? No, hold on.
Wilmot already does. Wilmot already can't afford his own house with his pay. I know what his skill is, but
no, people are wondering, because we had talked about it a little bit the other day with, especially like the vehicles, since everybody's got different prices on different things, and I know this kind of ties in with the economy and city council and all that, and gas prices and so on and so forth. So, is that something we could possibly look into, or
yes? If that's what our civ population wants, we can absolutely look at changing over to an IRL based similar economy system. It's it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the tail end starting out, but you know what? That's definitely a door that's open to what. That's definitely a door that's open, 100%. Sorry, Zig. It was just simply put. Yes, that is a door that's open. I mean, it's what the civilians. If that's what they want to do, then we can do that.
Well, I was gonna do it regardless.
I like the idea of that happening because it means that we're not sitting here managing your payout is $900 every 5 minutes or 7 minutes, which isn't the realistic take time, but that's an example. It would be $19.25 an hour or whatever that may be.
Right.
Ooh,
And that's yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Not
gas
bad.
is gonna be. Whew. Some of you troopers are
Gonna
gonna be
spend
doing
them-
sitting on you'll be sitting on post duty with taking calls for service from your cell phones. All I'm saying.
Can I build a bicycle?
Yeah.
Oh God.
You want to get a gas? You're going to pay an arm and a leg and a left nut.
You lose
It's about
your take-home
$150 for
vehicle.
18
Your
gallons of
personal
gas.
vehicle to
I
work.
want half your kids.
Yeah, you won't be bringing home a personal car.
You're looking at how about
Yeah, take home
$180
Prius.
for 18.5 gallons of gas?
God.
But
Gas
yes.
prices would be excessive. $5. Oof.
Five,
Ouch.
it's $6.50. What you smoking?
Well, I guess I
Five.
shouldn't say five. It's $4.16 where I am.
$4. Jesus, it's like $3.48 where I'm at.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
no, it's
can I pay
it's
you
like
to ship me
$4
some
here.
gas?
I got gas the other day. It was $4.
It was $6.50 the
it's
last time I filled up my car.
Well, okay, that's not my problem for where you live. In the central part of the U.S., it's $4 and like 16 or
Where
it
is
ranges from 416 to 470. Any other questions? Anyone?
Please.
Even if it's a
Well-
question, you're gonna regret. I don't.
Questions, concerns, you guys have a problem you want to address?
While they're thinking, ultimately our goal is to ensure that the server is becoming a.
When is the next talk to a dev?
The
I
server
would
needs
like
to be
to
a
see
way
them
we
once a
want.
month, but
Yeah, I was thinking once a month or quarterly or
Once a-
something.
Yeah,
It'd be nice.
quarterly
Nice.
would make sense.
Ultimately, the server needs to be. This is what we want as a civilian base from what is most essentially our important division. So it's kind of a the devs can fly by the seat of their pants only for so long until we run out of stuff to go with and they don't need help.
Stuff
What
to
about
fix
that?
and stuff to put together.
Now,
Sounds like- I
now
think
that
we've
we've
been flying by the
flown,
seat of our
now
pants
that
for
we've
a
flown by
while.
the seat of our pants, it's time that we start modeling
Locking
the
shit
server
down.
into what they want to see the server be.
well, and that's kind of the direction we've been taking. A lot of stuff is it's not
Yes.
about what what we want. It's okay. What do you guys want to see? What is it that you guys want to be able to do?
What's your next favorite car? What's your next favorite
Oh,
job?
God.
What's the next? All that.
Next favorite car. Can we hold off on cars for a while, please?
We'll do a Prius for Sig and a Prius for
Oh,
Wilmot.
Christ.
I'll take a
I
bicycle.
am not
Actually, I
taking
take
a
that back.
Prius.
I'm giving Wilmot a what's it called? Hover.
Oh my
bike.
God, the little.
Hover- I forget what it's called. No.
It's probably electric. I'll take it.
Paul Blart Mall Cop thing.
Perfect.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. If
fucking
you wouldn't have said the
segue.
segue, thank you.
I'm
Little
putting one
segue
together right
with-
now. Hold on.
Segway with little flashy
Coming soon
lights.
to a state police division near you, the all blue light Segway goes 55 miles an hour and then Mach speed of
Oh no 180.
No.
On the segue.
No.
We'll be passing up
it's a
Ferraris
super-
at that point.
It's the
Shit.
Hell, hand him a damn jetpack at that point.
I got a Segway model right here. We're making
A
it happen.
hydrogen powered jetpack, so when the civs shoot it down, it goes like boom in the air.
Just it
Be like the
disintegrates.
Amazon drone packages that get shot down.
the Amazon.
I'd be so pissed off if somebody shot down. my
EKYRP now sponsors shoot a
Oh,
hydrogen,
God.
hydrogen bomb or hydrogen cart thing, whatever you want.
Okay. And demonetized.
You thought you were gonna make money off this stream? No.
How often would you
What
guys
money?
like to see
Hindenburg.
a dev talk
Hindenburg.
Q&A?
Christ.
Is a comeback question to that one, Jameson. How often would you guys like to do something like this?
Well, they're thinking of other questions to ask us. Ross, do we want to,
We can.
once or twice a month would be nice? Huh. Okay. Okay.
Like the first and the second and fourth week of the.
Yeah. We can swing it. We'll
Beginning
cycle out
and
devs as we can do it and whatnot. I don't know. I can always attend based on my schedule being
Middle
as chaotic
and-
as it is,
middle
but
and
I will
end,
always try.
maybe? That'd make more
Middle
sense.
and end. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe middle
I
and
guess
Because if
end.
you
the
did it at the
month.
beginning and the end, then you'd have two like right back to back.
Hey Priest, what do you think about this? Do you think we could make this? We've seen this for the UFC control.
I'm not gonna stop you. No. But we'll get it for PPD since they're in the city.
I can make it happen. I can.
I'm pretty certain New York Police Department runs something like that for their meter maids.
They
I'm sure
do.
Kirk probably has
Alright.
gotten tired of some people putting them in a meter maid car.
Star Wars R2D2. There we go.
Ah!
Oh, let me get me to the spot I need to be at.
Where are you?
Huh?
Do
Doing
we
top
want
secret.
to look at the plate carriers and stuff for Elio?
Yeah, if no one has any more questions, we can move on to that.
Definitely, if you do have questions, you come up with questions, feel free to chime in and
Yeah,
why
speak up.
not. So I am sharing the plate carriers on my Twitch stream if you guys want to take a look at it.
I'll have
Also on YouTube.
everything pulled up here as
Hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a little easier to see them individually here.
Yeah, if you look at
let's
Sig's
see.
stream, you're gonna see them on the website. If you look at Bossmaster's stream, you're gonna see them in like OpenID and kind of on
So-
his desktop.
Right now, I see
Uh,
an animation.
We've
commercial
got
from Sig.
two.
Oh, perfect.
Monetized bastard. So a couple.
Wow.
And
Jesus.
not monetized
Stay
anymore.
tuned from not our sponsors.
Hey now, I gotta make my ad revenue somehow, okay?
Okay,
Because
so
it's
I'm gonna
definitely not
go
going from the
ahead
audio.
and slap this here real quick.
Cloud Data
Polls
Hosting now
will be up.
presenting.
Oh my God.
While we're going through here, feel
My-
free to cast a vote.
Hey, there we go, Priest.
So there's enough slots where we can replace 3 unused things in EUP that give enough texture slots for the vests. Start going through them. We've got your plate carrier with nothing on it. Let me add
That'll
the
be
texture to it. Each one will be customized for department. Again, plate carrier, nothing on it. You got 3 megs.
Good lord.
After that,
I will
you've
say
got
variation 5 is very interesting. He has his fucking gun across his damn chest. Jesus Christ.
so you've got this is what they call the patrol. This is everything on it. You got 3 mags there. You got your body cam, handcuffs, 2 pistol mags, radio, first aid kit,
Tourniquet.
and tourniquet. Yep. both on there, and comes up with the mic there. So that's your one with pretty much everything on it. You've got your light version. And this has pretty close to everything, just a little less of it, a little less bulky up front. No med gear. And a little key if you need it. So that's your light version. Then you're getting into your patrol variation with the taser on it. And all that does is it slaps it over here. Again, on the taser itself, this will be up to your HOD. Oh, did not mean to flip upside down there, but that'll be up to your HOD on what type of color it gets. There are different colors. The annoying thing here is if you look at Sig's screen, though, I believe if he still got it up, but you do see that there are different colors. But it never wants to work when I choose a second texture. So you've got like black, tan, olive green type of deal, and that will be up to your HOD. Then you've got your patrol with taser, or I'm sorry, with a Glock on it. And I believe, ooh.
That's what I'm saying. It has a freaking gun across the chest.
Let's see if it says. Don't think it says, but I'm gonna guess it's maybe a 19 by the looks of it.
It looks like a 19.
So this one has about the same amount of stuff. Actually, it doesn't look like this one carries any rifle ammo. And then you've got, which would be basically the way I feel like I guess they would want you to run this, since they have both versions here for you. One with a pistol and one without, is you could run it as a holster type. So that way when you pull your gun out, it would actually pull it out here. If we went with that, but that would take up another slot, and that I don't know how well that would work.
Yeah, it probably won't, considering the system doesn't recognize the chest holster.
Well, no, I mean, I think it should if it's in those slots under accessories. I would just replace the... in theory.
It should do a lot of things. It probably won't.
And then you've got the light version with the taser. So those are the ones to choose from. Feel free to cast your vote in the polls. Let me actually pull those up so I've got them here, because I'll just have the... And then we'll go over the Glock 19 in a second.
Really quickly here, speaking of EUP, this is from Kirk. Speaking of EUP, when would the EUP glitch be looked at with the new campaign hat that was added? My officers have no uniforms that they can wear, just asking.
Client side, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware,
have they followed the recommendation of what, the EUP's not working? Is that what the question is?
Yes. The campaign hat, yeah.
Have they tried clearing their cache yet? Is my question back on that.
Usually a quick clear of a cache, and it'll pull the most recent files from the server.
And if it doesn't clear it there on their cache side, we can also clear a server cache, which I think it's been a hot minute there anyway, so that might...
I will plan to do that tonight.
Okay.
Cool. So if your client side doesn't fix it, then the server one will be fixed tonight.
So I'll leave this up for a bit. Looks like so far we've got 3 responses. Somebody wants the bear plate carrier. Okay, all right. Patrols in the lead. Again, we can get 3 of these. So the top 3 will get the spots. So I'll let that go for a bit if people want to take their time to look at that. And now we'll look at the Glock 19. Unfortunately, there are multiple versions for the Glock 19, but from the developer's site, you can only actually have one variation. So we've got black, we've got FDE, we've got FDE with distressed U.S. flag special edition, tan, and thin blue line engraved. With only one variation being put in, I'd say, you know, with this weapon being available to law enforcement and civ in the server, I doubt most people would want the thin blue line version. But we can get at these votes cast here. That poll is also up.
What's the engraved special one look like?
So the thin blue line engraved?
No, the bottom one.
Yeah, the TBL, thin blue line.
Didn't see that. Okay.
So, but we'll start from the top. You get your black. Let me just slap these over. Let me just slap these over here. Take 2. So here's your black. Black Glock 19. Nothing too special. This is courtesy of C. Watson. He has donated these, or given these for the server's use. He
Those are
got
nice
the
sights.
Glock 19, and there is an option to have glowing sights as well.
Oh God.
So we could have that. And then he also gave the attachments pack for this, and it's pretty cool looking. I don't know if Sig has that up on his end or not, but the attachments are fitted to this and everything. They're very very sweet, high quality model. So that's your black. Then you've got your FDE. Zoom out a little bit there. I'll just leave it, whatever. So that's your FDE version. You've got FDE with a distressed US flag. And there will be a holster that comes with this, and whichever version of the gun we go with here will also be it's on Discord. Up in the polls section to vote. For both the gun and the vests.
I'll be right back.
So that's that version. Then you've got plain old tan. And then the thin blue line, which I'm partial to, but I don't foresee this being the one that is chosen. This will be replacing the pistol Mark II, MK2. So feel free to cast your vote there as well. Ooh, thin blue line is ahead with 8 responses. My goodness. Maybe that will be the one that goes in.
Good God.
I do like the distressed US flag. I really wish we could have multiple variations. I don't know. It is. I can understand that too. It is a bit on the overwhelming side. I like the black. My two choices would probably be the thin blue line or the black. The US flag is nice. It's not a bad looking pistol. Let me refresh. Can I refresh that without it? Oh, 10 response. Oh, distress and thin blue are tied, boys. Look at that. It's moving on up. Let's see what we got here for the plates. See what's that change there. See, that's what I was thinking. I like that. Okay. Patrol with taser and bear. I was really thinking the light would have made it.
While we're actually live here and looking at this stuff, I am getting reports that there are issues in the server at the moment with getting logged in. I'm currently taking a look to see what's going on.
Okay.
Just so everyone is aware who's watching live that we are kind of aware of it, and that's the wrong server. Whoops.
Who voted for the bear vest? I'm curious.
I did.
Really? You would.
Yeah, you got a problem with my opinion? Vote for I won't. Over here judging
I'm liking
me.
it so far. Patrol, I'll take it. It just cleared cache, and you can't get in server. Rip. Interesting.
We're going to see the servers go down here in a second anyway. Surprise crash.
But I will see if it fixes uniforms for PPD when it is fixed. I know on my end at least, I'm not trying to make it, I'm guessing it's just, for me, I can still view all uniforms and hats and everything. So I don't know. I didn't clear my cache. Again, this just sounds like could be a personal cache or a server cache. Usually this type of thing's personal though.
Yeah, the server cache is being cleared right now, so anyone who gets any strange or unusual FPS drops or lagging, you will be recaching files from the cleanest server cache that exists. Most likely, however, this is a client-sided issue that's associated to you with either a network issue or network downloading issue or association to downloading new models, just like you would with any car.
So if we get a tie here between anything, what it's gonna boil down to is me getting Pippi's final say on which one goes in.
Oh. As I say, how's this determined? Who makes the ultimate call?
It was that, or throw it into like a random like 1 or 2 and see which one it
jeez.
picks. So, but I figured we'll get Pippi's final say on it.
A random number generator.
To overrule
Gotcha.
it. I did not anticipate a tie.
don't think anyone did.
I did.
I didn't think the Thin Blue Line Engraved Special Edition would be up this high, because like Britannia said, it is a bit overwhelming, and I can agree with that. Combat picks. Combat, well, no, you don't get special say. I'm sorry. That's per the policy there. Oh, it underwhelming. My bad. I kind of think it's a bit overwhelming, actually.
Oh wow. Patrol with Taser is at 50% of the
Make
votes.
a battle between the two ahead. We could do that. Could do it that way too. And then get a final vote. I'll do that.
Wow, the black and the Thin Blue Line. Huh.
To me, it's a bit overwhelming in the same sense that it kind of is underwhelming. Like you would think there could be more to it, but the blue kind of.
Are you watching the polls there for the Glock?
Oh, I need to refresh. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
it jumped up. Okay, yeah, look at that.
This is
Thin
definitely
Blue
gonna
Line
be.
with
It's gonna be interesting to see.
True. I do like it. I like both. It's so hard to pick. I wish we didn't just have to pick one. Like that's what makes this so crappy. Like because in the game you can have multiple. You could customize variations. It's kind of. And on the old version, you could have one of one kind, and then the Thin Blue Line engraved. You could change it in game, but they lost that when they updated it to be the Mark II pistol. But with the Mark II pistol, you get the attachments and everything. So I understand the switch there. Well, looking like the distressed U.S. flag is well in the head now, 44%.
Holy mackerel!
Any changes with the vests? No, I think vests are pretty much set.
Patrol with Taser, I think, is gonna be the winning. Well, actually.
Well, we get top
three.
Votes. We get top 3 there anyway. So we'll get Patrol with Taser, and Bear. Those are the only ones being voted on. I really thought Light was gonna make it. I kind of wanted to see Light in there. I should have put Light as my vote.
Of course.
Can I go back?
I don't know.
Recast my vote. I don't think I can recast my vote. Priest with his stupid little bear vest in there. Okay.
The fact that I count for 13% of the vote makes me feel special, apparently.
So I think you're gonna have your Glock here in a minute.
Yep, that's what it's looking like. Distressed
US flag is up there.
I really did. I honestly foresaw.
Somebody has one with the light. 5% of the votes.
I did foresee the flag or just plain on black being the main one.
Yeah.
Thin Blue Line is kind of too law enforcement sided, so this way it's something for everybody.
Oh, what are you saying? Everybody likes a Thin Blue Line styled Glock.
I liked it. That's what I got my vote, but that only. Oh, hey! Ooh, now we got Bear and Light tied. Somebody, we need another vote.
Oh boy. Snow, what is your question that you have for the developers?
Question I jumped in there, heard him. He said he wanted Light. I voted for him.
Hey, look at that. Look at that. Sorry, Priest, you lost your.
Server's back online.
All right, server's back up if people want.
What happened to the server?
I took it down when people stopped having issues connecting. Did you miss this part of the conversation?
Yes, I had to take a phone call for work. Apparently, we had somebody that was potentially in distress that called me like 12 times.
Oh, good God.
Well, we had an issue where people couldn't connect to the server, so it's got cleared cache and it's restarting.
Since we're
Did
here,
FiveM have a stroke?
Yeah, I think it's FiveM sided it,
And
so it may be temporarily down.
That doesn't surprise me.
Give me just a second.
It doesn't appear. Nope, server's up.
Ooh,
Just
no,
kidding.
never
It's
mind.
back online.
The attachments pack.
No, well, I mean, we could go over the attachments.
You can't go make another quiz just because yours isn't winning.
No. yours actually lost. So sorry. Who the frick voted for the Glock with an empty holster on the vest?
I did.
How many times are you gonna come in here and vote?
I only voted once, but I figured I'd say it to Smith.
Actually,
Wow, Patrol really fell down there.
Oh, you can revote more than once? Hold on. Here come Bear Vest.
100 votes. 100 votes.
As long as we don't go over 250, then we know we're not cheating because the server only has 250.
Oh God.
So
yes, you can go back and revote.
Oh, that's crap. That's cheating. You are only allowed to cast one vote.
See, if we only had one vote per person, my bear vest would be doing pretty good.
You're only allowed to cast one vote. So this is what it looks like we'll be putting in for the Glock. So this is what got voted on.
Let's see here. Which one is it?
250 people didn't vote yet. What are you talking about?
Well, how long are we? We'll give this a while.
I don't know. It's your poll. I'm just picking at you.
I'll let people
Which
vote
one's
until the end of the
uh,
stream. How'd the bear get put back ahead?
Oh, Jesus.
Who the crap is voting? It's
Good
that bear
lord.
vest. See,
So a bear
See,
vest,
Parks,
is that
I'm
like
agreeing
a
with you there.
physical bear on it?
I could put a bear on it. A bear vest.
God, those are so ugly.
Tell you what, I will put one bear vest in. It'll be all black, and that can take another spot, and it just won't be department specialized.
No, we don't need that. I mean, if you want to do that, and it sells like in the ammo
Let me
shop,
actually.
I mean, yeah.
Does it have?
The Civs might enjoy something like that. I don't know.
No, it does have a spot.
If
But
they,
I could put
if
just
it'd be
something
okay
black
bounty
there.
hunting, they could do like a bounty hunter thing. I don't know.
Oh,
I can
jeez.
find a slot for this and just leave it completely black. Honestly,
Mhm.
if people that way there is something more side like Civ sided for the vests as well.
Right.
We can definitely do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of things that was brought up, and now that I'm sitting here and server and thought about it, someone asked the other night through Parks about there being a place to buy boats. Boats are in server and they are for sale. You can go down to 5010.
Holy
5010.
And we did find out, Priest, that they do show up in the database.
patrol.
So
with
if you
tasers.
buy a vehicle,
Make
it
sure you
shows
have
up
your
as
boating
your own
license
vehicle.
and your license to be on the water. Don't be speeding in no
Okay.
wave zones.
Okay,
God.
there is no way that 60 people have responded to this poll.
Helicopter patrol will be after you.
I'm calling bullcrap. Somebody's
Call
just
this damn
somebody's
stream
coming
a
in and just voting
success.
multiple times.
Wow,
Cheaters.
that is a hell of a stream that we've got going on. It's only been an hour and 25 minutes too. Jesus.
Hey, if you guys stay in here for a little while, you'll help me get affiliated with Twitch.
Oh jeez. Here
Just
we
stick
go.
around, and then there goes all of the viewers. No, I'm just kidding. Sitting at 66 Bro, are you good?
Fuck, I'm having a damn stroke over here.
Jesus.
911 where's your emergency?
Up shit creek. Actually, if you're the phone call I just had to deal with.
Your patrol vest with the taser is in. You've got it. You've 100% got that one. All three of you get 3 options. All right, 3 options.
Oh, okay.
The 3 options
The
for the
bear vest
vest.
still wins.
Only one with a gun. 3 with this. Top 3 win here. So Parks, you don't have to keep coming back with another. Oh my God! Stop. 71, and all half of those are Parks. Okay.
Alright, so divide that by half.
Jesus. All right, so that one's good.
Re-equivalent out the numbers.
All right, so the way this will be, my uniforms are
I
back.
think you're
Alright,
light
so-
with taser one.
So confirmed by Kurt, a cache wipe fixed his EUP problem.
Perfect.
So for anyone
what I like to
watching,
hear.
if you log in and you are experiencing issues, make sure to clear your cache. If you need help with clearing your cache, reach out to...
cache? Was it server cache or was it actually his cache?
I don't think we cleared our cache yet, did we?
We did.
Oh, well. Regardless. Oh my God. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the sound.
I want to know why my campaign hat has a motorcycle helmet looking thing from the Ohio State Patrol.
What?
At Ross.
What? What?
Why is my hat now having an Ohio State Patrol symbol on it?
No, so that's... Okay, alright.
Didn't write something right yet? Or...
I'm about to...
He's about to lose
Just
his
go back to
shit.
the original hat. So
Oh, that's why, because, yeah, I have to go back to the original hat.
Yep, yep,
Never mind. Solved. Code 7, problem solved.
My money don't jiggle jiggle. It falls.
And this is where the stream starts to fall apart.
Make me wanna dribble dribble. You know,
Jeez.
see it. 6 feet 2.
Does anyone else have any questions for the developers or any comments that they would like to make?
Okay, if we're hacking this crap here, then I'm gonna come in with multiple frickin' votes. Alright, if that's how...
Patrol with taser bear vest. Patrol with taser vest, not bear vest. I think that definitely has it here, even if I divide it by half.
Who is actually legitimately voted for the bear vest? Please.
I legitimately voted one time for the bear. I just clicked on it.
I can't hear anything.
My cash had to do it.
I hate to
twice
break
now,
it to
so
you,
it
but
is-
the
it
bear
was
vest
first cash.
is just,
Mediocre.
it's not gonna make it. The bear vest will be bear. It'll be 100% bear, and it'll take another spot. It won't be department specialized or personalized.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess I have to play by the rules. It is what it is. Somehow.
I mean, we could solve that problem right now. We've had 91 responses.
It's such
I like
crap.
it. I did really like the response that we've had tonight.
Yet the Glock has only had 24.
Well, that's because everybody got the one that they wanted. Yeah, see, the patrol with taser, I like it. I like that one. I do like the regular patrol. Honestly, my favorite's probably the light. But my thing with that, in all seriousness, regular patrol is the only one that has the mic here.
Oh,
I believe patrol with taser has it in a different
My
spot.
money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds.
It's on the
I
other
like to see
side.
you wiggle,
So
wiggle,
for those of us that like
sure,
using
and
the
make me wanna
animation
dribble,
with
dribble.
when
You
you
know, riding in my Fiat.
click
you
on your
know,
mic,
see
it's
it.
only- this is the only one on that
6 feet
side.
in a compact, no slack, but luckily the seats go
Both
back. I got a nap to
patrols
relax in my
and
mind.
the lights.
Slipping sound red,
See?
red
A man
wine.
of my taste. There we go. That's what I'm saying. Both patrols and the light. Where are we at now? Oh, look at that. Patrol magically jumped back up to be
Good lord.
in third place. Priest, I'll make sure there's one that has just your
I'm
name
not
on
worried
the front
about the
of
bear vest, but I'm joking.
it. It'll just say Priest on the front. Just for
The
you.
only
buddy.
time I put a
There it
vest on
is.
as a trooper is whenever I'm going on scene to the hot call. Otherwise, I'm wearing my my uniform vest.
All
That's
right.
per uniform policy.
Right? No, yeah. That's true. I don't really get to wear it very much anyway. There is that. Hey, JT, you
So,
want to change
there
that
goes-
policy?
There goes the hopes and dreams. Absolutely not.
Just destroyed. Nothing left. Any other?
Overruled.
You're right.
Yep. So as it falls in, what you'll be seeing,
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
we'll be seeing the distressed U.S. flag special edition for the Glock 19.
Cool.
We'll have the patrol light and patrol with taser, and then the bear. Okay, I'm sorry. That one sounds too realistic. The frickin' knocking, dude. I legit thought somebody was knocking on the wall that I share with my apartment. I was like, oh, they're pissed off. I've been too loud or some shit. Okay.
Lower your voice there, bud.
So, and then the bear will be added in for civs, and it won't say anything. I'll put something on it, like a little, I don't know, flag or patch that says something, but
Put a little patch that says the developers are amazing.
put like the Punisher thing on it.
Oh, developers are amazing.
No.
You gotta put some subliminal
Why
messaging
are the
out
devs
there.
not amazing?
No, I just can't. That's not fair to put on there. That's what I was
That's not what I heard.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
Oh, criminy.
Dude, I always forget I have that knocking one in here, and it legit sounds like somebody's freaking knocking, like straight up. I know.
That's terrible.
No crap.
Huh?
It kind of made me jump a little bit.
Mine are even worse.
Well, the worst part is,
That's part about mine is I'm surprised people haven't.
well, see, they don't have to pay bits for mine. Mine's just free for noises.
There's a few of them that are free.
All right, well, that wraps up my end. HODs, if you're still watching, get with me on what you want your vests,
Please, no!
color-wise and patches
No!
and whatnot.
No!
Granted, it is not going to be done in the next 2 days. It will take time.
Yeah, I'll have it done.
Please
by the
do
weekend,
not.
probably.
Please do not rush.
It'll be done before I go back to work. I go back to work on Wednesday, so it'll be done by next
3
Wednesday.
days. Got it. Jesus Christ. Well, and that's the thing. You know, do remember that we do have lives outside of developing for the server. So though we try to get stuff done as soon as we can and try to get dealt with in a timely manner. If your ticket ends up sitting open for a couple of days or a week, it's not that we're ignoring you, or 2 months. It's not that we're ignoring you. Either A, we're looking for something specific, we're waiting on something specific, or we just haven't had the time to sit down and go through it. I know for myself, I've been swamped with work and some other stuff with my company, and so I've been, I don't want to say slacking, but I've been busy with other issues that I've been trying to take care of. So, do give us, give us a little bit of time on stuff. It's not something that's just gonna happen overnight. I'd like to think that it will sometimes, but it's not always the case. Any other questions before we wrap this up?
I'm about to go turn off my freaking soundboard is what I'm about to freaking do. I swear.
First it was the voting, now it's the soundboard.
What's next? Star Citizen complaints?
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
SMP.
Oh God, please no. Please no. I will personally script that in there.
God almighty. It'd probably give us more of a direct air message than we get from FiveM, Hotel Tennessee Whiskey.
Yeah, but then you're gonna be chasing down every single vehicle, every single script.
Orange, Florida, banana.
No, S&P is 60. Then you'll be chasing down literally everything. No, I'm just saying, you'll be chasing down everything with an S&P 60, and you'll never find the issue.
I know that because everything will be S&P 60.
Did you say something about a banana?
So, I'm making fun of the FiveM error because, when people crash out.
Oh.
Whiskey Hotels early. Orange, banana, Florida.
Can we make Masters freak out anymore? I don't know.
Who's playing the flute?
That's from my stream.
I like
miserable.
It is.
That is just miserable. That's why you make yourself, or you make all your stuff in bits.
Oh my God, I'm strangled. Oh, thank you, Priest. I appreciate it so much.
You're welcome. Do any talk requests? Nope.
And see, that is why on my stream I have it so that you have to pay bits for some of mine. And there are a few that are annoying as living hell, and they are worth a lot of bits.
That's all we
you'd
have
like to. You'd like to annoy me. You need bits.
All we're gonna get for the holster, unless do people.
Hold it for the developer meeting later.
Do you guys? Do we want both the cross draw and the regular carry for the holster? No.
Up
Okay,
to you.
cool.
RP time, yes, Kirk. We're getting there.
I'm going.
I heard the goat.
Yes, the goat is great.
Anyways, I want to personally, from my side, I want to thank everybody that has taken this time to come out, join us for the dev Q&A. Thank you to everybody that has asked questions. It really means a lot because it kind of shows us, okay, we're at least doing something, and we're not just like breathing and blowing steam up people's asses when we say we're working on stuff. If you, like I said, we will do an our Q&A. I don't know what the schedule of it will be. It will definitely be probably a month from now, though. But if you guys have questions, a request page, a website where you guys can go and put your request in, and then based off of how many questions we get on there, we'll maybe look at doing our Q&A. So, thank you once again to everybody that has joined, has taken the time to come out, hang out with us, listen to the questions, and listen to our answers on them. It really means a lot. So, anything from either Ross or Priest?
Yeah, can you repeat all that? I couldn't hear you over the soundboard playing.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Dude, so it was shot and then dropped the bass in that order.
My outro music, yes.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, if only my stream would blow up like this when I actually stream shit, that'd be cool.
Now you're asking too much.
I know, I really am.
Now you're asking way too much.
I forgot to put that one in.
Oh God.
Shoot. That was great.
Was it great?
It was.
Well, like I said, thank everybody for joining us, hanging out with us, and tuning in. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, feel free to put in a ticket,
What
post
a
it in a discussion feed.
uninstall.
I will try to get something open for you guys so that you guys can share it with everybody. Otherwise, till the next one, y'all have a great rest of your evening. Looks like we actually have a latecomer, Watson.
Watson, which Watson? Who? What?
See Watson.
He's been here.
Mr.
Ross can't hear you over his outro.
Yeah, give me okay. Hold off on the music, please, for just a second.
Yeah, if you guys can hold off on that, it'd be great.
There's a little bit of me too.
Of course. In regards to the AI pit, I will look into it and see what all the details. Priest, I don't know if you want to chime in on that.
Well, I'm not.
I
Priest,
understand
so
the request and why players want it. I'm not a fan of it, but I have my own opinions of it. But it's a go for me if that's what the group wants.
It is a script that you can. What am I looking for? You can set your custom key binding in your settings in game as
That's
well.
good.
So at least if you don't want it, I mean, you can completely disable it. It's really not. I don't know if you've ever used it, but it's really not a bad script.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad script. I think it goes into the manner of policing. Like, I don't believe a unit should perform a pit by himself. It should be 2 units at minimum. But that's a whole different discussion for a whole different ball game of a whole
Well, I
different
mean, I think
type
with
of
that,
ideal.
with
But
that,
I understand,
mean,
there's players who are there by themselves. They're online at night. They have no one else who are there, and I do fully understand why the request is there for it. So that's why it's good. Let's do it.
well, I don't
just
think
want
it would
personally.
necessarily take away from policy on how pits would still be done. It just stops it from continuing while you can actually do it.
I don't think it's going to affect policy. I think that it's a manner of procedure. When you're in a pursuit, you wouldn't pit a vehicle alone. But again, that goes back to people being online, players playing, etc.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I personally don't like it. That's my opinion. But by no means is that opinion going to say, no, you can't have this because I don't like it. That's not right.
Right. Couple of questions I got from Britannia and Snow. They are wondering if they can get down on the controller, down on the D-pad, unbound from the seatbelt. Why not? I think it's a great key.
Why?
We'll have to look. So one thing to know is when we develop, and this is an issue that I don't think we're the only ones that run into problems with this, is you run out of keybinds very, very, very fast. Like, I think we are pretty much at the max for what we can have for keybinds, especially ones that don't interfere with controllers.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely look at it as a fix. I can't guarantee that that's going to be something that we can easily fix right off the bat, but we'll definitely look into it and see what we can do with it.
May I ask as to what the reason would be for that? Like moving it off a down D-pad?
Siren.
Ooh.
Your siren's
I
on the
hear
down
ya.
D-pad, so when you turn it on and off.
I
I
hear you.
personally, because I don't play with controllers, so it personally doesn't affect myself. But in my head, I have played with controller before. Said I kind of like that personally because it means when my
like
siren's going on, I'm
putting my
zoom.
seatbelt. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I would agree.
But
That's how I run mine.
That's
We can definitely
how.
look at it.
Yeah, that's how I do it too. Is I don't have my seatbelt on unless my siren's running, and as soon as it's on, then it puts my seatbelt on at the same time. So it's kind of a win-win there. But I get that as well.
Right. Matthews, I see your hand raised.
Dude, it shows the hand raising.
Yes,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it does.
Jeez. Where have you been for like the last hour and 42 minutes?
Looking at one of my other 3 screens.
Jeez. Matthew, what's your questions?
Since we're on the topic of keybind, it's not really an issue for me more, but I know it is for the people because we've argued over it ever since I've been in this server. On controller, the way you look back, I believe it's L. When you're driving, you're trying to look behind you. like it'll pop up the dash cam. Sometimes if you use like NVE, cam just go back and it's pointless. But it also blocks controller users from being able to look into them unless like it just takes a second for you to be able to look behind. So will that ever be removed or all?
I'm going to defer your question to either Ross or Breeze because I heard very little of that. You were
Basically, if you're playing on
very
controller
staticky.
and you hit the if you're
Reverse
playing on controller and
recliner.
you're looking at the reverse key, the one that looks behind you, it auto keys back to queuing the dash cam to come up on a person's screen.
The quickest way I found around that, Matthews, is that I just press it 2 times very quickly, and it goes in and out of it, and then you're behind you. I do. It is. Yeah. It is kind of. Well, it is annoying. I hear you on that.
Yeah. No, yeah. I know the old double click thing. I just figured that once I figured that out and told other people, it was still just they all got mad because it was just black screens. But
So
Right.
I
like
would,
said, once
I would guess my question
once
comes
I
back
left
to is,
NVE.
do we want the dash cam? Does the community want a dash cam? If not, then it's a useless script and it can go.
Does anyone use it? Is the real question.
I use it on occasion for a stream. Like I'm on like a hot pursuit and I'm running lights and sirens. I'll use it for a stream effect, but that's truly
Right.
my extent of it.
Well, I would say I probably do the same thing. Britannia saying he doesn't like it. Anyone else
Honestly,
on
I
that?
never use it, but I did not mean to open that.
Matthews, do you have any other questions that you would like to bring up?
No, sir. That is it. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, thank you. Britannia, maybe a way to toggle them with a command.
No.
It's not really a command-based toggle. It's literally you press the control and it changes it. And maybe in all honesty, here's what I would almost say is, let's disable the script for right now. If people want the script back, we'll re-enable it.
Yep.
So I think that's gonna be kind of the ultimatum that we go with is disable it for now. If it's wanted, then we'll put it back in. I don't know if it's worth, putting something out there saying, hey, is this a script that you use all the time? Because we may get 5 yeses and 10 no's, but then a week later get 20 no's and only 15 yeses. So I don't know. I'd say let's just remove it for now and go with that.
Or if you use the same type of poll that we just did, they can vote however many times they want to.
Christ. Jesus. Any other questions before we wrap it up? Otherwise, like I said, if you do have other questions,
Shouldn't
I
we wrap
will
it up
open up.
before you start, though? Oh, sorry.
Ouch! Ouch! That was cold. That was a very low cold blow to the gut. I felt that one from all the way over here. Everybody go blow up Ross's chat. Just spam those sound effects on him, please, so he can't hear. But I will definitely open up the site for you guys to submit hour and 47 minutes. So I think this is a really good idea. I like this. We'll definitely keep doing these. Like I said, as we get questions and we kind of build up a Q&A list, that we'll schedule the next one. And then these play for myself. We'll kind of see where it goes. So, thank you once again, everybody. Sounds like there's blowing up Ross. If you guys want to go back and watch the commentary, feel free to. It's probably
Just
these
don't watch it
two-
on mine because you won't be able to hear shit.
Oh yeah, just don't watch Ross.
So,
You
how
won't be
did
able to
you
hear
get
anything.
affiliate on Twitch while we sat here for 4 hours playing shots and turned down for
Good lord.
Only if.
Anyways, guys, thank you all for coming to join us. We'll see you all in the next Q&A. Have a great rest of your evening. See y'all later.
Turn down for what?
Perfect timing, man. You couldn't have been any better timing than that. All right.
All right. Everybody that's in the stage, thank you for joining us. Have a great evening. Have a great patrol. If you are getting patrol, I'm gonna go question my sanity at this point. Good God, I'll be in my office. Actually, I believe we have court that's supposed to be coming up. Crap.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
When was
Alright.
that at? Oh, that was only 14 minutes ago.
That's
Great.
my stream. This is. There you go. Now you get to hear my music that I like to play. So here we go.
Are you still live over there?